Good evening, everyone. How are you all? Thank you for tuning in. Lots of you talking. Lovely to see you all. Has everybody had a nice weekend? Isn't it gorgeous, the weather? Absolutely gorgeous. Let's see who's on then. Who's excited? Who's a giddy kipper? Did you all just see my 10-minute heads up? Come on, get your stuff together. We need to get crafty together. Let's have a look. Happy Easter, glorious sunshine. Hi everyone. Hi Marilyn. Hi Carol. Hi. Oh, just give it a second. Just give it a couple of minutes for everybody to get tuned in, because it's super exciting this evening. What we're going to do is we are going to do one of these a month, okay, which is super cool. So one a month, and we're going to build on it. Oh, it was too good to be true, wasn't it? Tim, can we mute this, please? Can you mute it for me, please? I'll just put it on overhead and then we'll just mute. 1 second, ladies and gents. Honestly. Just 1 second, ladies and gents. Tim's just breaking his neck to do it for me. Thank you. There we go. Hopefully that won't interrupt again. Now, Tim, are all the comments have gone? Where are all the comments? Just 1 second, ladies and gents. All super planned, super organised as ever. Do you know as well? I've been sat here for about 2 hours planning what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do, sizes, etc, etc. And then guess what? As soon as I go live, Henry decides he wants to be part of my channel. It won't be a second. Just talk amongst yourselves. I will do a shout out in a second. Oh my gosh. So let's say hello to some friends on Facebook while we're waiting. Thank you very much. So let's say hello to some of our other friends as well then. Sorry about that, ladies and gents. Honestly, you couldn't time it better, could you? It is Henry Pat. You're so right. So let's do a shout out. Hi Karen. Hi Elaine. Hi Susan. Hi Shirley. Hi Lorna. Hi David. Hi Amanda. Hi Barbara. Hi Sue. Hi Rosie. Hi Leslie. Hi Elaine. Have we all had a lovely day? Hi Tracy. Hi Sue B. Sue says she's got some fab paper she's never used. Hi, happy Easter, Julie. Oh my gosh, you're all talking. Don't stress, Tony. It's very rare I get stressed, but it's just like timing, you know, sometimes. It's like, I've been planning this all afternoon. Wait till I see his mum at school. Oh, so you've not missed anything, Lynn. It's not Lynn, sorry, Nola. You've not missed everyone. Oh, sorry, he's saying who have I missed in name. So lovely to see you all, thank you. It is 7 just after, and we're going to be doing a craft along this evening with some either 6x6 paper collections or some 8x8 double-sided if you have them. But if you don't have them, don't worry about it, because I'll show you ways to get around if you only have single-sided, which is what I designed, single-sided. So I've had to dig out another brand, which is fine, double-sided, to help you all out. Now, I'm going to be using my Stamperia papers, which are double-sided. They come like a little small set for mine. So what papers has everybody got ready to go with? Let me know. If you are watching for the first time, I'm thinking, do you know what? I'd like to give that a go. I don't have any papers, but it looks quite cool. I have loaded some Stamperia papers on our website. So if you're watching me now on the website, the papers I'm using this evening are on the web. So if you don't have any papers and you want to get involved, you can do so. However, I'm not going to be doing like a really interactive measurements, pockets, folds, flips, flaps this evening, because this is our first ever one. Now, if some of you are advanced at mini album making or album making per se, which I know quite a few on here already are because they've done them with me in the past, then you're just going to have to craft along, just enjoy the Sunday evening, and we're starting Billy Basic. Is that a word? Billy Basic? And we're going to grow. So I'm going to do one of these once a month, okay? And every time we teach something new, we can incorporate it back into the first one. It's inexpensive. I'm only asking you to use what you've got in your stash, and all that it's going to cost you is your time. And I'm absolutely certain what you're going to get out of it is going to make you feel great, let me tell you. So let's see what everybody's using. So we have Margaret's using, oh, Graphic 45. Graphic 45, let's have a look. Sweet Floral, Fosu, let's have a look. Snap, oh, there's quite a few of you. Paper Boutique Papers, very nice, Susan. Double-sided Bloom paper pad, lovely. I've just dug some papers out I've had for years, Glynis. Brilliant, that's what it's all about. The encouragement to use your stash, okay? So we're going to be using what we have in our stash. Now, I've no idea how long this is going to take because I'm going to do it with you straight from the get-go, straight from the start, okay? So I've no idea how long it's going to take. It might take an hour. It might take 2. However long it takes is however long it takes. But don't forget, if I go too fast, you can always go back, pause me, mute me, catch up, press pause while you're doing little pieces of it, then play, then pause. All I would say is don't forget to click that subscribe button, and if you do enjoy the show, make sure you click the like button as well. Oh, Sue's using Chloe's, that's lovely. Old Craftwork cards, Karen, brilliant, brilliant. So I think we should just get straight into it. It is an inspirational class, an interactive class. We don't need to know about any industry news in this class. We're just going to be crafting. So is everybody ready? So the things that you're going to need if you are crafting along, maybe you've just clicked in now and you don't know who I am. My name is Tony Darroch and this is the How to Craft Network, and we're going to be doing one of these classes every month on album making or something using paper. So I can encourage you all to use this stack load of paper you've all got built up, okay? And then we're going to build on it and build on it and build on it. I can't guarantee what time it's going to be or evening or what day of the week it's going to be. I'm just going to drop them in hopefully once a month. So you might have one which has got 3 weeks between, one that's got 5 weeks between, but I'm going to do my best to get you all interactive with each other. Now do share your makes over on our Eureka fan page as well. That would be wonderful to see what you all come up with. So the basic album I'm going to show you, it's entirely up to you how you go and decorate it, what you decorate it with. But if I show you some very simple basic album techniques that will help you grow as a crafter, then you can absolutely do that. This is what the show is all about. We're not precious about measurements, we're not precious about how it looks, it's each to their own. Let's have a look. Susan, question, is this going to be available after the live? Of course it is, darling. Just go to the How to Craft Network YouTube. I'll pop a thumbnail, a picture of mine, so you'll know exactly what it is, and I'll mark it up as well. I'll call it something like mini album 1, and then we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'll probably put in what we've used or what it is actually, 6x6 or an 8x8. So the Be Creative papers, Michelle, brilliant. So what we're going to do is, let me tell you supplies. So you're either going to need at least 5 sheets of 6x6 double-sided paper if you have them, or 6 8x8 double-sided papers if you have them, or if you don't have double-sided, then you're going to need double, so we can get rid of that white background on there. So it's totally your call if you do single or double-sided papers. If you've only got single, just work with single until you find some double-sided that you absolutely love. That's absolutely fine. You're going to need a guillotine, possibly a scoreboard if you've got one to hand, and some adhesive and scissors. So I have adhesive, I have my scissors. Just going to get all my tools out now. Adhesive, some scissors, papers, grab your papers. And then I'll talk, as I'm going along, I'll talk you through little things that are an absolute must when you are album making, which you may have to purchase in the long run if you absolutely love making the albums, okay? But they're totally worth it, okay? But it's not a need now, and you don't ever have to buy anything to do these these shows, okay? This is what it's all about. So let me just grab my papers. So I'm going to be using the Romantic collection, and it's an 8x8, but I've cut them down to 6x6 because I want to work with 6x6. But if you're working with 8x8 and want a bigger album, absolutely you can do that. So let me just show you overhead. So this is the paper that I'm using today, and I've cut 5 sheets down to 6x6. So whatever you've got going on, you're going to need 5 sheets of whatever size paper you've got, okay? 5 pretty patterns. Now I have loaded papers on the website, so if you're working with the ones at home and you want to get some different ones and make more, then you can absolutely do that. And Stamperia are super inexpensive as well, which is a great starting point. So let me show you what we're going to do, or something similar to, bearing in mind it's a starter's mini album. So if you're a little bit more advanced, okay, and you've got all the bells and whistles and the punches and the dies and the magnets and all of the embellishments to boot, then that's absolutely brilliant. But if you're crafting along, just enjoy the Sunday evening, because what we're creating here, you could maybe make several and make a really big album if you're a little bit more advanced. This evening I'm catering absolutely for a beginner, okay? But it's going to be a beautiful album, and I know you're going to feel a great sense of achievement from this album. And I know that somebody's going to get it from you because you're going to give it to them, because you're going to be super pleased with it. So these are pretty papers, yeah, super inexpensive. This is only double-sided ones I had, which I had to pinch out of my shop. Oh, so let's have a look at what I've done. Birds are fighting. Right, so look at this one here. So this is what we're going to attempt to sort of put together this evening. So it's just a lovely book which has some interaction, no measurements hardly, absolutely, keep it simple. Okay, we have this page here with some pockets, 2 separate pockets to pop things in. Now I have embellished this. I'm not going to embellish yours, okay? You'll have to embellish it yourself. I'm going to show you how I build the album. Mary Kay Crow's has never made an, oh, this is super exciting, she's never made an album, Mary. Oh, you're going to be blown away, Mary. And then we've got some interactive pockets here where you can pop embellishments and things like that. Then we have another page here where you could maybe pop a photo, a page flap here, so we could pop maybe a little mini book in our book here, okay? Then on the back we have an interactive pocket on the top, and as I talk through the album I'll tell you about little bits and pieces that will elevate you if you want to get into the album making, and this is like a little pocket on here, okay? But first of all, what we're going to do is I'm going to, rather than get straight into this album, I'm going to do a little mini book which can go into your big album, okay? So let's set that aside and let me just show you this one. Super easy, okay? Super easy. So I've popped some tea in here for a gift. Okay, so we've got this one and then some tea inside, okay? Super easy. And all we do is cut, and I'll show you how to create this one. And these little sort of embellishments and things look amazing when you pop them inside your handmade albums, you know, with photographs in, tickets, money wallets. It's just another build on, okay? Let me just get my comments back here. Okay. So is everybody happy? Are we all ready to go? So Susan is a complete beginner. If you can see a share button, please share. I would love for, you know, I would love for hundreds of us to be making albums together. I do appreciate that maybe some of you want to craft along later. Just watch now and craft along later, and that's absolutely fine. But if you can click that share button, that would be appreciated. Let's get everybody making some giftables and using their stash, okay? You're all probably going to go quiet as well. You're all going to stop commenting. So get your guillotine. And what we're going to do is, just put this down carefully because it done half go through my microphone. I don't want to deafen you all. So what I'm going to do first of all is let's just grab a piece of 6. Well, I'm using 6x6. If you're using 8x8, I'll talk you through the measurements if it's 8x8. Always stick with numbers that are easily halved, because doing the maths and things, it's a nightmare. So 6x6, 8x8, 12x12. They're made like that for a reason, aren't they? A4, a little bit more tricky. Okay, so let's just get this piece of cardstock here and let me show you what I'm going to do. So let's just get my arm out. So get your guillotine. Pop it down quietly. Liked and shared. Thank you so much, Shirley. So all I'm going to do now, I'm not cutting this. It looks like I'm going to cut it because I've got my blade out here. I'm not cutting it. I'm going to score it. My blade has a score tool on here. So if you're on a scoreboard, okay, you need to score it down the centre at 3 inches. It's 6, remember, so I'm going to score it down the middle at 3. If you're on a 8x8, it's going to be 4. Okay, so pop it in here, and I'm just going to score it at 3, like so. So you can see here. There we go. So score it at 3 inch. If you've got an 8x8 piece of paper, then you're going to score it at 4. Okay. And I think it's cool if some of you are doing an 8x8 because it is slightly bigger. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to score across the bottom at 2. So, and if you're doing an 8x8, you can score at 2 because this is just going to be the depth of our pocket. Look here. So as I've said to you, if I say 2, you can go 2.5, 1.5, 3. It's totally up to you. Okay, so this is my paper, scored in half, and then across the base I scored at 2. Can we see that there? So you can score at 2 as well if you're using 8x8. It's only the depth of your pocket at the base. Can we see there? Really, really lovely. So far, everybody, let's just get rid of that. Just so I can see all of your comments. Sorry, ladies and gents. Sorry, late, Miss Derek. So, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scissors, and then I'm going to cut along this score line in the centre up to our score line there. Let me just show you. So sometimes it's good to watch first before you actually do it. So I've just snipped up to that score line there. Can we see that there? So super easy, super easy. Shared. Oh, thank you so much, everyone. So then all we're going to do with our little book is I'm going to bring one up and give it a good score, and I'm going to fold one back and give it a good score, and I'm going to fold it in half, and guess what, we've got a little mini book. Okay, did we all see that? Let me show you again. So one up and one back, and then we've got a little book. See that there? So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my glue here. I'm just going to pop some glue down this side here. I'm going to stick that up there. You see why it's important? It's double-sided, really, because otherwise we would have had a white pocket. It would be a bit boring, wouldn't it? Caroline, for this, I would, when you're doing a proper album, sweetheart, stick 2 pieces together back to back. But for today's show, just to get involved and go through it yourself, just use a single-sided. Yes, you will end up with white sides of, when I fold that, it will be white. But just do the session with me now, and do it where you'll have white pieces, and then later stick 2 pieces of pattern paper together that you like. And go from there. Is that okay? Just follow the process now, because you'll just thoroughly enjoy it anyway, and you'll be wanting to make lots. So just follow the process just with the single-sided for this session, and then you'll be able to do more with your double-sided. We have got lots of double-sided papers on the website as well, sweetheart, if you don't have any and would like some. But equally, there are ways to get around it if you don't want to do that. So then this back pocket, I hope that's okay. And then this back pocket, I'm just going to turn over, and I'm just going to glue the other way. Just make sure. Like so. Just make sure I'm not missing anybody out. Yep, Lorna, 1 second, I'll quickly talk you through. Glue it up like so. So whilst you're all just gluing that, let me just talk Lorna through it because she lost a connection, bless her. So 6 by 6, Lorna, you need to score at 3 inch down the middle on your score tool. score down the middle, and then you need to score 2 inch from the bottom. In fact, I'll do it again very quickly whilst everybody's gluing. So I'm just going to score. It looks like I'm cutting. I'm not. My tool is like so. So then we fold it so you've got that. Yeah. And then I'm just going to score at 2. If you're using 8x8, you can still score at 2. No measuring. You can do whatever deep, however deep you want your pockets. So 2 inch and 3. And then I'm just going to take my scissors, sweetheart, and cut to there, and then you'll glue 1 up and 1 behind, and you'll end up with your book. One up, 1 behind, and then close your book, and you end up with a pretty book. Can we see that there? And then you just glue the sides. Thanks, Tracy, that's super kind. Like so. Can we see that there? So let me just show you the little one that I made earlier. Super easy these, because these are great fillers for your books. So all I did, that's exactly what you've just made. Now you're probably thinking, hey, that looks a little bit better than mine. Tools of the trade, corner punch. I just tidied it up a little bit and embellished it. So we've got a little mini book. There we go. How do we feel about it so far? Not complicated. Are we all good? We all good? Right, let's get cracked on. So let me just show you. So things like your teas and things like that as gifts, you know, just to pop a tea. You've got a pocket on the front, a pocket in the centre. Great giftables, little packets of sweets and things like that. Super, super cool. Let's move on. Let's just set these aside. Let's just make sure everybody's okay. If anybody gets really stuck, we'll have to do, because we will be here all night, and that's no offence, like things like that, but you can always go back and catch up and catch up and catch up. But if you're struggling with like my instruction, because that might happen, I'm just doing what I love and hoping it's helping everybody. And then what we'll do, if you PM me, maybe I can help you out a little bit more. So let's get onto our book, where we can sort of like make this interactive, beautiful element. So grab a sheet of paper, whether it's your 6x6 or your 8x8. Now to create this hinge here, this sort of hinge, all of our pieces of paper need to be scored at 1.5 inch, okay? Now if you're wanting a thicker hinge, you can score at 2 inch if you want to. If you're wanting a thinner hinge, you can score at, sorry, my apologies, I'm telling you fibs here. This is 1/4 inch on here, but you can score at 1 inch, 1.5, whatever thickness you want your hinge to be, you score it. There are simply no rules. We don't measure, it's personal preference. On here, I am at 1/4 inch. Let me show you. So I have my paper here. This is my 6x6, okay? But if you're doing 8x8, it's the same. Just do the same hinge as me for the show here. So, sorry, I'm saying 1/4 inch, now it's half. Right, so as we go in, so I'm going to score mine at 1/2 inch. So if you're on a scoreboard, 1/2 inch, okay? This is your front cover. Pick the prettiest paper you like, because that's your front cover. This is going to be the front cover of my book. So I've just scored it at 1/2. And can we see? Just give it a good old score line. Score it back and forth. So Glynis is going to make one for her son's partner. Oh, son's partner, as he loves different. That's really nice. So there we go. So you can see here, page 1, which is just this front cover here. So then when we open our book here, we have this sort of interactive pocket here, don't we? So let's show you how simple that is. So you need to grab, so that's my front cover, scored, done, whether you're using 6x6 or 8x8. Right, so let's move this to one side and let's grab another piece. So you're going to need your second sheet, super easy. Again, we're going to need that score line. So I'm going to score again at 1/2 inch. They all need the 1/2 inch, okay? Now think about your papers, which, okay, 1/2 inch. That's the hard part, isn't it? Deciding which side you're going to do things on if they're pretty. So I'm popping that in at 1/2 inch. I'm just going to score it. Now this guillotine is a godsend. If you haven't got one of these, probably I would suggest you get one. They're amazing. It's got cutter and score. There we go. So there is our second page, okay? Hope everyone's following. So far, super easy. Nothing fancy here, nothing fancy. Just let everybody just do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to score at, I'll read it out to you, just 1 second. 4 inch. Okay, so score at 4. So 1/2 inch and then 4. Okay, so you'll have this hinge, which is going to adhere to our book, and this is going to create our pocket. See that there? So 1/2 inch and then at 4 on your scoreboard. So easy. Just let everybody just make sure you get to that stage. And then all I'm going to do is, obviously it's 6, so I'm going to put a score line in here to get a nice pocket. So from here to here, I'm going to go 3 inch. Does that make sense? So pop it back on your scoreboard and do it at 3, but you're only going to score to that line. You know the line here? So I've got like a T score line. So 1/4, 4, and then we've got this T here, which is the middle of the 6, which is 3. And I'm just going to cut that, just like we did with our little book there, and I'm going to cut across that line. Can we see that here? So we have a pocket like so, and another pocket like so. See that there? Now again, options are you can do a pocket at the front and you can reverse this round and have a pocket at the back, so our page is sort of interactive both sides. Totally personal preference. But what I'm going to do is, just to tidy this up a little bit, is I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm just going to sort of take a little bit off and take it to the point. I'll show you this. Just stand by before you do this, ladies and gents. I'm going to just show you what I mean. So I'm taking it back to that point, just so it doesn't catch when we glue it together, and I'll show you the gap. Can we see that there? There we go. So I just cut a little bit off and took it back to that point, and I cut a little bit off here and took it back to that point. This is just going to make my pocket look a little bit more attractive, okay? Like so. Can we see that there? Super easy. And then when you fold it up, what happens is you can see the divide in the pockets, and it looks nice. Can we see that there? It looks nice when you do that sort of divide. Really, really lovely. And again, if you want to do corners, you can obviously use your corner punch. If you want to tidy them off and make it look a little bit more, you know, tart it up, as I would say, totally your call. There's no rules, but as you go on, as we do these, you'll realise like you will need a couple of things, i.e. a score tool, corner punch. You'll need a circular punch as well, because circular punches create that semicircle in your pockets as well, which just sort of give it that little extra touch of elegance. So let's glue this in. So all I'm going to do is, with my glue, is I'm just going to do down the sides. And I'm just going to shut it up and hold it in place. And then we already have our sort of interactive page. So again, if you're doing 8 by 8, still do the same measurements as me. Go to 4. Sorry, if you let me just grab a piece of 8 by 8 for you that it would help. It really doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter how deep you have your pockets. Okay, so let me just show you on an 8 by 8. Just 1 second. I'm just going to score at my half, and then I can give you a little bit of a guide. Stay put. If you do it at 6, you score at 6, So you've got your 1/2 inch for your hinge, and then if you score at 6, is that okay? And then you score obviously the 4, and you do exactly the same as this. You can see the difference in size when you put them together, can't you? Kelly, I will try and talk through the 8x8 sizes as well as the 6x6. You'll just have to bear with when there's lots of numbers going on. But just shout out like you did there, sweetheart, and I'll absolutely show you on an 8x8. I have some 8x8s as well at the side of me. So I'll just move that to one side for now. So let's just bring in our page 1. So page 1 with our hinge, page 2 now, okay? So all we're going to do is we're going to glue this hinge to the back of this hinge, like so it matches. You see that there? So when you come to open your page, you have an interactive page in there. So all you need to do is pop some glue on your hinge. You're welcome, Kelly. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this online, like interactive as well. So just give me a nudge if I'm not telling you something or doing something, because it's quite easy to run away with me when I'm enjoying myself. So there we go. See that there? And then when you open your page, probably pop it on your counter and open the page and give the page a really good push back, so you've got a really good score line. There we go. So easy so far. Everybody with me? I don't expect you to comment, don't worry. So let's just set this aside now, because we've got our 2 little interactive pockets, and let's bring in our next piece of paper. Like so. Oh, decisions. Oh, anyway, so hard deciding, isn't it? So what we need to do is we need to get our hinge, because it's not going to go in our book any other way. Well, with this technique anyway, it's not going to go in our book any other way. So we're going to have to do a 1/2 inch hinge again, 1/2 inch hinge again. So pop it in your scoreboard or your score tool, or if you've got one of our cutters here, pop it in and give it a score. Don't forget to use the score one and not the cutter, because I did that today. So I've got my hinge on my 3rd page. Give it a good old crease back and forth. Okay, I'll let everybody do that. And then you're going to pop it back on your scoreboard, okay, and you're going to score at 4.5. I will tell you 8x8 in a second. 4.5, and then you're just going to fold this up, and you're going to have this type of page. So we have our hinge and this. Such a shame to hide that lovely flower. In fact, I'm not going to hide it. I'm going to turn it the other way. I can't hide it. It's too nice. So it just shows you personal preference. If you're following a pattern on your paper, it's absolutely fine. Go with what you like. So because I love that so much, I'm going to do my pocket this way. Okay, if you are working on 8x8, again, do your 1/2 inch line as you've just done for your hinge there, and then bring it right up and score at, if you want, 6. 6 is fine. 6 inch if you're working on 8x8, or you can do 7. It depends how deep you want your pocket. There's no rules. If you do a wrong score line and you do it on 2 or 3 or 3 or 4 or 5, you're just going to end up with a different depth of a pocket. It's not a mistake. That's how it is. So don't worry if you're late. You can rewind, pause, go back. It'd be difficult for me now to go back. This is the first time I've done this, and I've covered a few points already. So just to keep up momentum, you might want to just watch from now on, or you might just want to rewind and start to the beginning. So what if you're half an hour late? It's not the end of the world. You can watch it any time. So then let's bring in our book look. So we have page 1, well, the front cover. Then we have our little interactive page with the 2 pockets. And then all we're going to do is we're going to stick the next hinge to the next hinge, like so. Does that make sense? Like so. Then we'll have 3 pages. So stick this one in. Wendy's hubby just brought her a lovely cup of tea. That's lovely. So then once you've got your glue and it's all adhered, give it a good push down like I said. That's okay, I can rewind, you can. And then go through your page again, giving each page a lovely like crease line. And then our pocket page, fold it over, give it a lovely crease line. And then if you've done your pocket this way, you just need to pop some glue at the top and at the bottom, so we've got an interactive page. If you've done it the other way, just glue it the other way. Okay, so just pop some glue down the sides of your pocket. If you're following pattern paper, your pocket might be different to my pocket, but I don't want to lose that beautiful flower on that corner. So let's have a look so far. Let's have a look so far together. So we have our front cover. We should have a page with 2 interactive pockets for tags, and we will go through embellishing at the end. Then we should have another one, which your pocket might be on the front if you're following, and then my pocket's on the back side, look, because I liked it so much. Okay, so far so good everyone. Oopsie daisy. Let me just see where we're at in our book. So then you're going to need your next piece of paper. Whatever paper you're using, I'm just going to have to cut one down, so just ignore me right now because I used mine as an example for that other one. But next piece of paper, so whatever paper you're using, 6x6, 8x8. Let me just cut this one down. Criminal to cut it down, I know. But it's not the end of the world if you do cut them down, remember that, because I can show you so many ways to use. Don't throw these away, really important. So you've got your next 6x6, okay, or your 8x8. You can use red liner tape, Susan, of course. So this is our next sheet of paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to score again at 1/2 inch down the left. This is our hinge, so all of the pieces of paper that go in our book today all need that score line, otherwise we're going to struggle to adhere them in our book. Okay, so I've got that lovely score line again. And for this one we're going to leave it absolutely plain because we're going to put a posh pocket on it. Okay, so all we're going to do is on our score line add the glue. And we're going to stick our next page in. So I'm just going to line up those hinges. Get them as straight as you can. Sandy, at least you'll be able to keep your eye out for some pretty papers now. And if you are in the USA, if you check our new postage terms as well, Sandy, very beneficial for our lovely USA fans. We've changed it up a little bit, so check out the new postage system on our website as well, because we've got just loaded lots of new papers on there as well, and these papers are really pretty. So let's have a look so far. So we have 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, give it a good score, 4 page. So far, good, good, good. I'll just let everybody just catch up. The metal tips should be on the website. Yes, they're under tools and accessories, I believe. If they're not, I know we have some, so I'll have a look after the show. So I'll just let everybody get to this stage. Hopefully you're pleased so far. And if you are crafting and you can see ugly whiteness, don't worry about it. You can always cover it after the show. You can go back and decorate it, okay? Okay, so decide now which paper I'm going to cut into. Okay, so you're going to need one more piece of paper. And I think that's the 5, isn't it? Am I right in thinking that? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. One more piece of paper. So whatever size paper, rounding corners as she goes, Wendy. Oh, you've already got a corner punch, have you? So I'm just cutting mine down here. Just 1 second to 6 by 6 because I don't have any 6 by 6 papers. And again, we need to create our hinge. So back into your scoreboard, 1.5. Sorry, 1.5, half an inch. So all of us should have the same hinge if we're all going by the half. But if you have an 8 by 8, you might want to do an inch hinge. It depends how much weight you're going to put in them. There's simply no rules here. What I'm offering you is sort of a guide. It is totally up to you how you take it, twist it, make it your own. So just got our lovely score line in there, so we'll give that a tweak. What have you done wrong, Karen? Shout out what's wrong, maybe we can help. Because there really are no rules. If you've scored it maybe an inch or two one way or the other, your page might look like it's got one this side. It's just because I'm following my pattern papers. I didn't want to use that. And then the one we've just scored, I'm going to stick straight to the back here. Okay, this hasn't got an interactive element. It will have by the end of this evening, but it hasn't as we build. So our last page just goes direct onto the back of our book, hinge to hinge. So we should have 5 pages in our book. Try and get them straight, not like me. Looks like it's wonky now. Oh, Susan, that smells delicious. That sounds delicious. So when we've got our back page on, we're just going to go through our book again, creasing those pages, giving them a really good score line. Oops, a daisy. Get more glue on. Might need a bit more glue on there. Red liner tape and glue if you are making it as a gift. So far we should have something like this-ish. Okay, so far so good. So this is where you're going to need your cutter now, because we're going to make some quite interactive pockets, okay? So you're going to need 5 by 5 inch piece of paper. Look at this, I could actually maybe get it out of that. 5 by 5 inch, okay? So you need to cut 3 5 by, in fact no, let's do it one at a time, let's not confuse. So let's cut one 5 by 5, okay? So everybody cut a piece of paper 5 by 5 inch. So you should end up with a 5 inch by 5 inch square. Keep your pile of offcuts to the side, because honestly they'll come in so much use when we want to make tags and toppers and gift cards and bookmarks. So cool. So 5 by 5 inch, and then what I want you to do is at 1/2 inch score down the left a 1/2 inch score down the base and a 1/2 inch score down the right. So we're making a little bit of an interactive pocket. So if you like to watch me first before you maybe make a hash of it or something, that's absolutely fine. You can do that, okay? So pop it in your score tool at 1/2 inch. So I'm going to score down the left at 1/2. I'm going to turn it around and do a 1/2 across the base. So I've got 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and I need a 1/2 inch score line here. So I'm just going to pop it on your scoreboard at 1/2 inch. What I always say is, like this is like 5 inch, so if you do 1/2 inch and then you try and do the maths, you might get it wrong. I'm not saying nobody can't do this, but sometimes if you're not concentrating, one side of the pocket ends up thicker than the other. So what I always find easier is do 1/2 inch and then turn it around and do 1/2 inch, so you don't have to do the maths in the middle. It just keeps it simple. It does for me anyway. So if it helps, just turn your piece of card around and score at 1/2 inch on the other end. Don't try and work out the maths, unless that's something you like to do. So we have a pocket now which has got a score line at the base, a score line on the left, and a score line on the right, like so. So it looks like this from the back, if that helps, if you can see that. Okay, super easy. And then all we need to do is, because we need it all to sort of like fold in, well, it's going to be quite cumbersome if we don't sort of cut this element away. So what I find easier is, if you cut away the little squares at the base, that's okay, but I'll show you a little bit of something to make it look a little bit better. So I'll cut out the little square from our score line. Can we see that there? And then if you cut this one out here, now this works, you can do it this way, but what I find just helps a little bit is, if you can remember the triangle we did with our pocket, where you sort of like cut it in a little bit like so to the point, so it gives you this nice tapered edge, and do it on all the sides. And then when you come to fold it together, it's not cumbersome in the corners and you've not got like elevation. It sort of helps out a little bit. It just tidies your edges up a little bit, like so. Can you see how that looks at the bottom? So it looks like a triangle sort of effect on there. And then when we come to fold our pocket in, can you see at the top, if you haven't scored it straight, then you could be hit with sort of wonkiness. So what I always do to help me out is I do the same up here. I just taper it off. So you end up with a tapered off at the top and at the bottom. So when you fold them in, can we see you've got that tapered element at the top, and it's just a little bit easier to get that pocket design on there, okay? Super easy. So that was our 5 inch square, wasn't it? Super easy. Everybody okay with that? So this is same for an 8x8 book, 5 inch square, scored at 1/2 inch on 3 of the sides, 2 on the long side and 1 on the short, okay? So let's show you how this can go into your book. Now, when I'm putting this into the book here, I can put it anywhere I want. There are simply no rules. Let me just bring in my first book. So on this one here, I open it and I've got the pocket here. Can we see? So I put it flush at the base, and then I can put some tickets, cards, whatever it might be into here. It does look nice if you have a circle punch to cut out half a circle. So if you haven't got a circle punch, I have some on the way. But if you want to invest before then you can do that. So let's just show you how we adhere this to here. So I just take the pocket, very simply, and we glue it on all of the 4 sides. And then you can pop it to the left, in the middle, to the right, wherever you want. I'm going to go base. So I'm going to tuck it all in, pop it in place, and stick it down. So I've got a lovely pocket on the inside of our page. doesn't look particularly straight. That I think it's actually the pattern, it's not my cutting. Can't be hard to cut a 5 by 5 inch square, can it? So you can see how your book's quickly coming together. We've got an interactive pocket on the left. We've got 2 pockets here on the right, which we created with the card. So now I'm going to turn into here, and any offcut from your papers, any offcut where you've cut maybe down or something like that. So this is where your offcuts come into hand, okay? Now if you have embellishments and pattern papers, like for instance this pattern paper has like lots of little embellishments that you can cut out, and tags and toppers and just all sorts going on really. And just wait for everybody to catch up. It's looking lovely. So far so good, isn't it? So then on the back here we need to create some more pockets. So let's show you another pocket. So I'm just going to put this to one side very quickly. So if you have an offcut, if you have some offcuts, it doesn't really matter. Let me just show you all of my little offcuts here. Just to show you that whatever you have, you can make some really tiny pockets, some really big pockets. Doesn't really matter. Can we see that here? So I think I'll go with this one because this is quite a big one. So it's not square this time, it's just an offcut. So if you're just grab some of the cards, has everybody got a little bit of an offcut hopefully? And again, just to create the same pocket, I'm going to do half an inch, and half an inch. So I'll have the top as a load. Okay, so let me just go ahead and do that. Remember to score. If you don't have offcuts, then you cut your paper to the size that you want your pocket. Don't cut in and cut it the same as here, because this is just an offcut. If you're wanting a if you're having to cut into paper, cut a pocket that's going to suit you for what you're going to have in your album. Okay, you're going to be making albums now. I'm telling you, you're all going to be making posh super albums. So half inch. I think the key to this album is just remembering half inch. Everything else looks after itself. There we go. So we've got those 4 sides again. So left, base and side, like so. I'll turn it over so you can see it a little bit better. And then how I like to do it is I like to cut away that square. If you've got the confidence to go in and do the taper straight away, absolutely go for it. But I am reaching out here more to people who've maybe never made an album in their life. So take out that square first. Okay, and then just taper off. So come in a little bit and take it back to that point. So you get that sort of offcut come off there. Can we see that there? And then the same at this side. Back to the point. It just stops it from being a cumbersome build in the corner. So and then at the top I like to taper off at the top as well, just to tidy it up a little bit. Like so. See that there? So when we come to bring it all in together, it's not as chunky. It's quite slim and slender, which is what we need. So I'll just let you do that piece. Oh, Sue, why have we given up? What's happening? Yours is looking lovely. What's happening with yours? What size is this offcut? This offcut is 3 deep, 3 inch deep by 5 wide. So it's just an offcut from. So where we're going wrong? What's happening? Let me know, sweetheart. So if everybody's still with me, I'll carry on. So now we've done this little miniature pocket. You can pop it anywhere you want. You can pop it on this page if you want to, this page if you want to. Obviously it's got to fit. You can pop it sideways. You can pop it so it overhangs your page. Just showing you some options here. So your tag can pull out of half a page so it'll look like that on the page. Lots of different ways. Pop it at the base here. Pop it on here so you have two pockets. So we have our panel, then a pocket. It's just so cool, the things that you can do. So these papers are on the website. These are Romantic Collection. This one is the one with the musical instruments on, but there's some Christmas ones on there as well. They're all delicious and they're inexpensive as well, which is nice. So the pocket. Oh, you're getting people interrupting you, sweetheart. Dad's playing up too. Okay. Well, don't forget you can read. I'm still here. My lips have gone dry and now I'm having so much fun. You can go back, just pause or rewind me, sweetheart. And if you have any problems, just shout. But so far, so good. I know you're all enjoying yourself. I know you're all cutting and gluing because hardly none of you are talking. When it goes quiet, I know you're all in the moment, which makes me very happy. Cotton Confetti, this is a lovely album. Thanks, Tony. You're welcome. I'm hoping that all of you are going to go and, you know, just give it a try. And this is just like, you know, some albums are made up of 15 of these, what we're making right now. We're starting as a beginner. But some albums are made up of 15 different ones of these. And then what we can do is we can brad them, we can string them together, we can ribbon them together, we can put them on hinges. Listen, we could craft for the rest of our lives doing mini albums and there will still be something to learn, which is brilliant. And you know what as well, which is brilliant? I love mini album. It's where I started out. But as my company's grown into a stamp and die stencil and paper company, I've sort of like lost my way a little bit, and I always love playing with paper. So these evenings, these free sort of inspirational album evenings, are sort of ticking a box for myself as well, and I get to do it with all of you guys, which are my friends. So you know, what better way? So are we ready to crack back on? Okay. Oh, let's carry on. Don't forget to share. Right, so we have our pocket here. So let's just go with how it was intended, and then if you want to chop it up and change it yourselves at home, you can absolutely do that. So this is for the back page, okay? So let's pop this on here. So again, same as before, pop some glue on. And then you can pop it in the corner, but I'm just going to go by what we did earlier. Keep it simple. I don't want to sort of bamboozle saying. I like to show you things that you could do, but if you want to follow step by step this evening, absolutely do that if you're brand new. And you can chop and change it up. And tomorrow you might use a different set of papers and put lots of pockets in. But don't forget to show your makes, will you, on our Eureka fan page. We love to see them. Oh, Sanntangle tiles, that's a good idea. So there you have another interactive pocket again. And if you've got like a punch, a circle punch, a tab punch, you know, all of these things, you'll see me out. What I'll do is over time, I'll incorporate them into albums, little bits and pieces, and I'll say this is a necessity. But it's not a necessity if you're just enjoying the process and enjoying the interaction and crafting along. But if you are wanting to make lots of albums with the interaction and the elegance and the tabs and the toppers and all the bits and pieces, then it's going to be a good investment, isn't it, if you're enjoying it. But certainly I won't say you have to go out and buy anything, because that doesn't really, it's not what it's about really, because I know you've all got stacks of stash which you could use. So let's go back. Let me just see where we're at in our book here, and then we can start to sort of build up here. Now these albums are absolutely brilliant for photos as well. Don't forget your photos. Right, let me just bring in the book here. I'll show you where we're at. So it is a little bit different actually, but it's okay. I'm okay with it. Let's have a look. Anniversary gifts, yeah. Mary's never seen this before. Mary, it's a whole new world. You're going to have so much fun. I can't wait to see what you do. So as you can see here, so far, okay, so on this one I've rounded the corners. Yes, I've embellished it a little bit on the front, and you can do that. But so far we have our front covers, okay, and when we open, we've got a pocket here and pocket here. You can see where it's going when you start to embellish, okay. And then here is this, but I just added an embellishment on the top here just to overhang it, to give it some interest. And in here, look, I've got some little tags that were actually in the paper, but I'll show you them in here, look. Can you see? So you can pop little tags with IOUs, or we're not finished yet, by the way. Joanne says, what would I put in it? So if it's for yourself, maybe photos of loved ones and things like that, memorabilia, i.e. tickets where you went somewhere, or if you're a fan of a singer or a musician and you want to embellish it with snippets of what they've been up to and things like that, it's absolutely amazing. But if you're giving to somebody else, my gosh, the scope is incredible. Seeds, tea, chocolate, gift vouchers, cinema tickets, holiday tickets, you know, date for two, just all sorts of just incredible things. Meet me at such and such, weddings, you know, pop a picture of a wedding, of the picture of the wedding on there. It's just so many different things. Oh, Karen, I hope you're feeling better soon, sweetheart. So we have our so here we have sort of this page here. Now this is where you can just pop like panels and things. So here, this was a double page which was plain like this, okay. So here you can see I just took a piece of, it is embellished, but say for instance we are working together, let's just grab a piece of offcut here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to create a corner pocket. Can we see this here? Corner pocket. So I'm just going to take an offcut, I'm just going to pop it on. I know that this is 6 by 6, so I'm just going to take my offcut, I'm just going to pop it in my guillotine, and let's do 3. I'll shout out the measurements in a second, ladies and gents. 3 by 3 square, 3 by 3 if you are crafting exactly the same as me. And then I'm dying to round this off, but I'm not going to do it because if you haven't got a round punch at home, it will just sort of frustrate. So I'm going to go with the bits and pieces that I have: score tool, paper, glue. But I've demonstrated that you can make it gorgeous if you want to. So 3 by 3. So let's bring it up. And this is where sometimes pattern papers with sort of embellishments and things really work, okay? So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to create like a corner pocket, and I'm just going to glue down this side and across the base. So this is sort of like created a lovely pocket for maybe one of those little albums we're going to make, like so. So I'm just going to pop this on the corner here. Like so, can see? So now we've got a lovely corner as well. Now you could match it and pop one on here. I'm not going to do that though, because I don't want to hide this flower. I like the flower. Okay, so here we have our lovely pocket here, which we're going to pop one of our little mini books in. So far so good. Are we all so far so good? So don't be afraid of blank pages, because they look cool if you've got photos. Don't be. And then what you can do is, say for instance this is a photo, it's not, but say for instance it's a photo and you pop it on an angle like so, maybe a bit smaller. But then all of the lovely embellishments and flowers you have in your paper pad, you can cut out and sort of embellish around. So don't be afraid of full spaces, because they do serve a great purpose. Don't think every page has to have some interaction. So on our back page we have this pocket, so I would just grab an offcut, okay, from what you've got, whatever. You could do some minute, these are all offcuts, look. I think I could put 3 tags in there, couldn't we? So the way that I do some tags, from offcuts. Now these are all the different sizes, widths. They actually look similar actually. But you could create tags from all of these offcut pieces, okay? So let me just show you how I like to do a tag. So what I do is I measure the piece of paper. So that's 3. So I know the middle of this is 1.5. Oh, thinking about that. Okay. In fact, you could even just sort of like, if you don't have scoreboards, this is what people do. Just fold it in half and nip it. Can you see that there? Nip it. And just wait till everybody's caught up first of all. Mary, idea for us beginners, you could put, we've been talking about this evening, and do you know the poll that I put together on the YouTube? Maybe you all might want to think, you know the poll I put on the YouTube, and I said to you, do you want to use what's in your stash, or would you like me to put mini kits together and things like that? Pretty much all of you said you wanted to use your stash, which is fine because we've all got it. But now, knowing what you know, would you all prefer me to put a little kit together, you know, with the pattern paper so we all make exactly the same? Maybe a punch of some form which we all get the same patterns and things like that. You'll have to let me know. Do you think I need to put a new poll on? You'll have to let me know. I'm not sure. I just don't know myself. The whole purpose is so you use what's in your stash. Maybe I could, Mary, maybe I could do the things that are going to tart it up for you. So the punches and the corner punches and the circle punches and the tab dies and things like that. Maybe I could put those together for you so and put them on websites so you can cherry pick rather than send you them in a kit. You'll have to let me know. You'll have to let me know. So if you have tag dies and things like that, you're absolutely good to go. But I'm just going to trim, let me just show you, I'm just going to trim these down. Just going to make them shorter so they go in my pocket. So I've just got some embellishments in my pockets. Let's go 4.5. So you can see, so you can put a hole in there, thread some ribbon through. So I've got one, I'll do this one at a different, I've got even this off cut which I've just cut off there, so I've got a different length. Another one. So you can start to embellish. Maybe you might want to go around the edges with some distress ink and things like that, okay? So we need to just continue on. We have another pocket to create. I'll just wait till everybody's caught up. So far so good, everybody. So we need to just set this aside for now. I'll just use that as an embellishment. I'll just stick it in there for now. Just let everybody catch up very quickly. So far so good, everybody. Joanne, that's absolutely fine. I would prefer a kit. Maybe I should just do a few kits, and then people who want to use the stash they can, and some people who want to buy can. I don't want to be left with a load of kits though. Then it's a tricky one. Right, so let's do one more page. Okay, sorry, one more pocket. So let's do a different pocket this time. So you're going to need, let me just cut mine first and then I can tell you yours, everyone. Just get this in play. Just let me cut mine first. So this time 5 by 5.5. Okay, 5 by 5.5. If you're cutting a piece of cardstock right now, so it needs to be 5.5 tall and 5 wide. Love this project, Tony. Super easy. Super easy. So 5.5 tall and 5 wide, and then you're going to score again 1/2 inch down the left, 1/2 inch down the right base, and 1/2 inch up the right. Okay, so if you're using a scoreboard, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2. Oh. sure I don't cut it. So this time we're having a tall pocket. So we've kept all of our pockets the same. I know we've changed the size of the pocket, but the way that the pocket works, we are keeping them all the same at the moment, okay? So I'm going to turn mine over so you can... Oh, that's nice. I'm going to have to do it other way. That's too nice not to... Didn't score that very well, did I? That's not half an inch. Wait a minute, Tony. See what I mean? That pattern paper, I've turned it over and I love it, so... My score lines are going that way. So score, left, base and right. And again, exactly the same as we did earlier. Cut the squares out, if you can see them. And then this square here. And then we're going to tidy them up by adding that tape. Oh, hang on. Can see you making a lot of these, Julie. Well done, sweetheart. I'm so excited to see what you're doing. Why should I make a sample kit, Adele says, and then see what people think? Yeah, I could do that. It's a great idea, actually, Adele. Do a sample kit and then you can all give me the nod. I'm just going to taper these off. That's a good idea, Adele. You're not a bad egg when you have a go. So taper these little corners off. Get rid of that bulk. And we'll taper the top. So it looks tidy, like so. And then bring in your book. Oh, my bits of pieces are just falling out there. Don't worry, I'm not bothered about the embellishment side, so let's just move these out for now. So on this one here, I'm going to have my pocket in the middle, okay? On the one of the blank pages. You decide which blank page you want to pop it on. There are no rules, like I always say. So I'm just going to pop this, glue this straight onto this page in the middle. But you can do it at the base, to the right, to the left, whatever suits you, okay? Oh, Claire says this is giving her lots of ideas. That makes me very happy, Claire. Me knowing that all you guys are going to be using the stash that you've been stroking and looking at, and maybe you felt a little bit overwhelmed by it all. When it's broken down, it is quite easy. But I am just like you guys. I'm the same. I look at a jelly plate and it sends my anxiety through the roof. But, you know, when I see people doing it, I'm like, oh, it's actually not that hard. I would actually give it a go. And then when I've done it, I'm like, I'm actually enjoying myself. So it's just that little bit of a nudge of encouragement, isn't it? So next one. So we've got our page stuck in there, okay? So we need to make another pocket because we're going to make a double layered pocket on this occasion. So you need another piece of paper. Running out of paper. I've got another piece here. So, oh, you know, that's cool, isn't it? Let's just use this one maybe. I'm going to have to... I've kept that like that because I didn't want to... I wanted to see it and now I'm going to cover it up. Hey-ho, never mind. So let's get another piece of paper. This is just as nice. So you know how we cut that one at 5.5. So if you're doing an 8x8 album, you will have the same measurements. Just do the same for the sake of doing the same now. Yes, the pockets will be smaller on the bigger pages, but it's just so you get into the swing of how things are constructed, put together, the building of a pocket so you don't get the bulk and things like that. So what I'm going to do here is our pocket that we just did, if you remember, it was 5 long and 5.5 wide. So this time what we're going to do is we're going to do 4 . by 4.5. So we just took half an inch off our last size pocket, okay? So 5 and 5.5, 4 and 4.5. Does that make sense? Absolutely, Sue. Use your stamps and your white cardstock. You absolutely could. Jane, I'm absolutely going to do double-sided papers. Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry about that. I'm on it already. So again, I'm going to score at half across the left, half across the base, and half up the right, leaving no score line at the top, okay? So it's already scored at half there. So half across the base, half an inch. Just stick with the half an inch rule on everything. Pocket, the hinges. You can't go far wrong. And then same as we've done with all of the other. Oh, that's quite nice, isn't it? Either way, I'm going to hide. Oh, it doesn't matter. This is double-sided. I hate to decide. This is why I haven't done double-sided. So again, I'm going to cut out those squares as we have done with all of our other pockets. And then we'll taper off to tidy it up. Caroline says she's used the cheap papers tonight, but she's going to use the posh fancy ones. That's just how I thought as well. Just taper the top off as well, so it's nice. Absolutely. This is like a practice run, isn't it? That's why I said if anybody's using single papers, just go with it for tonight. Get into the swing. If you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. So now, can we see here, when we come to bring in our piece of artwork, or sorry, our mini album, we can do a double pocket. So if you imagine your semicircle punch and your semicircle punch, you could have a photo in there. You could go down, right down in size, right down to like a key ring size one as well. Does that make sense? It's criminal to cover that up, I know. I'm just showing you the idea though. So, and then I'm going to stick this one on top of this one, and this is called like a waterfall pocket, but it's a little bit different in the sense it goes down in size. Oops, a daisy. It's not a good sketch, is it? Don't get glue everywhere like me. Some papers do crack. It's sometimes not a bad thing, you know, if it cracks. I think sometimes the really good quality papers do crack. This is cracking a little bit and I love these, so sometimes it depends. Sometimes again you do pay for what you get as well in the same breath, so I can't comment on anybody else's papers, but like you say, you'll find what you'll love and then you'll just work with what you'll love, won't you, which is nice. So we have our double pocket, can we see there? So we've got this interactive page here, double pocket page here, page on the back. I'm leaving that blank because that's too pretty to cover up. So I think we're just going to do one more thing if that's all right. We've got time, we've got time. Have I got another piece of 12 at all? I have. Mind you, that is the back cover. That's not a good sketch, I see. And that's the front cover. I'm out. I was going to do another one, but I haven't got the paper. So let's bring in, shall we, I am going to do it. Let's do it, right. So we're going to do another little mini book. Pretend this is nice patterned paper. I'm out of paper. So I'm just cutting mine to 6x6 because that's obviously the size of my book. But so grab another 6x6 piece of paper or 8x8, whatever you're working with. And we're just going to create another little mini book, okay? If you remember. Try and hide that. Right, so 6 by 6. We're going to just do a quick mini book again, just so you've got it nailed and I'm confident that you're good to go with it. Okay, so 6 by 6, we're going to score at 3 in the middle, straight down the middle. So if you're using 8 by 8, you're going to score at 4. Okay, so just recapping very quickly here. Need the toilet, Barbara. Fold it in half so you know it's scored in the middle. Okay, then we're going to score 2 inch up, as we did in the first one. If I'm hurrying through it now, you're probably thinking, hang on a minute, I missed this, but you can go back, remember. So we've got like a T, upside down T, okay? And then all you're going to do is you're going to take your scissors, okay? But because on our other one, didn't we folded this one forward and this one back, can you remember? And it created this, can you remember? But I've got that ugliness there, I don't want to see it, so I'm going to do them both on the inside this time. But what we need to do is we need to taper, you know the taper we did? Because if you don't do the taper, it sort of catches. So take the taper off and take it to the point in the centre. It just tidies up your work a little bit, like we did on those little mini pockets right at the beginning. You're all probably thinking, I forgot how I did that mini pocket now. Well, that's the beauty of this channel. You can go back and watch, can't you? So now we have this, can we see that there? So we've got that lovely taper in the middle, and it stops that bulk trying to close it. And this is where sometimes the bulk causes your papers to crack, because you're trying to stretch it so far and the paper's like, absolutely not, and that's upside down. So just bear in mind your pattern as well. You know, because you're trying to stretch it so far. So then if you glue these two down, so the sides, I know why it's all I wonder why it were all flowing out, because the cap, it's not on properly. I'll have to tidy that up, won't I? So down this side and then down this side, and then fold it up, press it down. And if you have a corner, you could have corner rounded it and it would have looked like that. Can you see that there? So it looks really different. And then if you've got embellishments and things in your pad, I know a lot of you've got paper boutique going on, you get this sort of effect, don't you? Whereas obviously you can fussy cut. Let me just do it very quickly, just for an idea, because some of you might not have embellishments, but you might have stickers and pop out things you've been collecting for the last 10-15 years. So just for instance, I just want to just very quickly show you here how, when you start to spend the time, it's my favourite part is the tarting up part. So you can cut, and then what you can do then is you stick them half on and half off the page. And it just elevates the design instantly. And then when you come to pop things inside, let's just see if we've got an offcut. And this is where your offcuts are just really cool. Let's just grab an offcut. So this is an offcut, look, and then we popped an offcut in there. That could be a tag, a topper, like so. And then on the front, just cut out another embellishment and stick it on the front. So let's have a look what we've done then. And I think that's all we're going to do this evening, because I'm absolutely out of paper. And I think it'd be nice to really go in and each month build on our pages and get a little bit more into it. So these little books that you've made, we've made these together, haven't we? One on the front, one on the back, inside. This is one I've just done where they're both on the inside. So we've made these together. So let's just grab some of these embellishments just quickly. So these are just offcuts. I'm just showing you for instance here. Just cut this in half. Use your guillotine at home, but I'm just showing you for instance. So when you start to fill the pockets, corner around them, use your distress inks if you want to. So I've got two little lovely mini books here, which could be really pretty. Ribbon, pearls, gem, whatever you want. And then these, when you bring in your book, look, can go into pockets. So you can fit them in your pockets. You can glue them to the front of the pocket. So when you open the pocket, it's a pocket on a pocket, but it's got a page in there. Can we see this here? Really, so it's just building on the interactivity of it all. You've got these on here, on the edge here, on this one, look, I showed you. have sort of an edge. So I just stuck a topper on the edge so it overhung and created a little bit more interactivity there. Then we have this pocket here, so let's pop, you could pop that in there, look. So it sits inside the hidden hinge pocket there. Then we have our 2 pockets here where we can pop tags, toppers, embellishments. Like so. And then we have a pocket further on the back where we could pop another book. And so on and so forth. What do we all think? Are you all peeing your pants? You're all dying for a toilet, aren't you? What do we all think? Now, I am going to give away the albums. And it's only because, see, this one is the big, so this was an 8x8 one. We've done 6x6, so these are the 8x8 ones where you can put tea inside. Not sure if this will fit in my book anywhere, but let's have a look. Won't go in with the tea in, but it will. Look, there we go. So there we've got another interactive page inside our page. Amazing. What do we think? Did we all enjoy that? First one out at way. I can breathe now. Did I do good? Not too complicated, hey? So we'll keep it super simple. Tracy kept up. Thank you, Tracy. That's so cool. Not too complicated, straight from a beginner. And then next month, what we'll do is we'll add more interaction. So then you can think, well, I know how to do a simple pocket. I know how to do a detailed pocket. And we'll just build on the different concepts of how you can build albums. And then when you find one you love, whether it's the ones with the hinges, whether it's ones with just score lines, the binding with ribbon, we do them where you thread the ribbon through and we do a big bow at the top. It's just so many gorgeous ways to create the most beautiful albums. And if you are selling them, obviously the more interactive pages they have, the more money you actually get for them as well if you are selling them. So do me a favour, if you've enjoyed this evening, click the like button and I will pick a winner for these albums. If you pop a comment underneath the YouTube video, please share. Let everybody know what we're doing once a month. I'm always live in Studio 3 anyway, doing something, product launches, you know, industry news and things like that. But this is a little bit different. And I'll do that giveaway as well. Let's have a look. Wonderful, just the right pace. Oh, brilliant. I could sit here for absolutely hours, but I think, you know, an hour and a half is absolutely enough right now. And I'm pleased you've all enjoyed it. Don't forget to share your makes on the Eureka fan page because we all want to see what you've been doing. Even if you're not happy with it, show me what you did and I will comment on it all later. Oh, she's hooked. Everybody's hooked. Yay, I did my job. Did a good job. Pop a comment underneath here and I'll pick a winner next time I'm in Studio 3. So whatever you're doing, enjoy the rest of the evening. Don't stay up till the early hours creating mini albums. If you're like me, you'll now go and grab some nice papers and you'll be building all evening if you've got nothing else to do. So have a lovely evening, everyone. And don't forget, tomorrow at 11 o'clock, we are doing our Ukraine Fund show at 11 o'clock. We've got some guests zooming in. We've got some special products as well at super cool prices. So come and show support. And if you can donate, that would be amazing. So I'll see you all tomorrow, Studio 1 at 11 o'clock. See y'all then. Bye, guys.